With every company, it's really important to have a spread in terms of the sectors in which you operate and also just the amount of customers that you serve. It is so much more valuable to have 20 customers that each give you $50,000 per year than to have one customer that gives you $1 million. The reason is that if something happens to that one customer and you lose the one customer, which can easily happen, your entire business can be wiped out. As actually, if you have 20 customers that each give you $50,000 or whichever the amount might be, if you lose one or two, it's not actually the end of the world. The important thing is that when we're looking to diversify your business, it's really important to have a balanced portfolio, both in terms of the clients that you work with, so you don't have too much of your business reliant on one customer. So ideally, you would want no customer bigger than 20-25%, but ideally you would have a really nice group and cluster going from really small customers all the way through to your bigger accounts. But the idea is you have a balanced risk there. But also, if you can, try and work in different geographies and sectors as well. In the past, I spent a lot of my career in the oil and gas industry, and that has huge peaks and troughs. But when that industry collapsed in 2014, a lot of companies really struggled as well. One of the reasons why we did quite well is that we diversified into lots of other areas and lots of other parts of the world. That actually, when the UK oil and gas market really fell off a cliff, we were okay because of that diversification. And that's also true with exports as well. So rather than just sell just into the United Kingdom or the US, if you also sell into France and Kenya and all across the world, if you can, should something happen in the UK, so actually at the time of recording, the value of the British pound has dropped. So that predominantly affects the UK. But actually, if you have overseas trade in different areas, it just limits your risk and really kind of helps you move forward. Another great tip for this as well is actually in the opportunities that you chase. It's often really attractive to go for the biggest contracts you can and chase what I class as the whales, the really big, juicy opportunities that you want to go for. But often they have a longer lead time, and actually there's probably more competition to go for them. And so actually what you want to do in terms of your sales approach is, again, to have a balanced portfolio of your pipeline, that yes, you do want to chase the really big opportunities, but actually balance that with some smaller fish. So you both chase the whales, the big major corporations that could be a multi-million-dollar account, but actually balance that with smaller companies as well, which are probably lower hanging fruit. They are contracts which might convert sooner, which actually helps bring cash into the business. And ideally, you want both. You want the really good, solid, large accounts, but actually not be too reliant on a small number of big customers and have a large group of smaller clients that you service as well. One really great tip, which I love to share as well, if you have all of the data on your clients and your revenue from each, one thing that really helps is to plot that as a pie chart, and then you can quite literally visualize the share of risk within your business. And if you wanted to, you could also plot geography if you account for where they're based. But to visually be able to see your clients and see where they are and see if you're too overly reliant on one or two customers is a really good tip to help communicate your pipeline and your clients to your team or to investors. But actually, in managing your business risk as a business owner, it's a really useful tool.